Come on, come on. Yes. Welcome to the Laws of Grace framework. This is a bulletproof, precise, normal person, normal language, science-based, evidence-based framework to measure and to help you come home to that place of permanent presence, which I define as step 3 in the awakening process. Note what's happening around me. These are wild birds, so it's utter mayhem. So I'm going to demonstrate presence to you while I put up with chaos, biting, potential bleeding, and watching things like this bird just kicking the other one in the face. They're just darlings. These parrots here are very timid. They're called long-billed corellas. But they trust me. They can feel it. This Yoda stuff, controlling animals and stuff, is real. It's called rapport. Magic. So this framework has what I call 9 concrete pillars. Just 9 things to check out. The first 5 are foundational, and the other 4 are the final 4 just kind of build it up a bit, because we just look at some really important aspects that usually are missed out. So pillar 1, which covers everything really, is correct presence practice. How do you know you're awake? Like, how do you define presence? How do you define being connected with God? Right, so in this framework here, I say there's 4 steps. And there'll be videos linked, and this is what the correct presence practice is about, as I explain it to you explicitly in a way that's, you know, those people that like to think it and get sidetracked by their thinking and stuff can truly understand what correct presence practice is. It's not to do with thinking. Your mind only has one job, eh? Magic. Note the timing with the Corella. Your mind really only has one job, and that is, as Eckhart Tolle says, to ask the question, am I present? And then you do the 4 steps. Yeah, don't bite, my friend. No. See, chaos. You can do this in chaos. You can do this in a corporate, toxic, bully-loaded environment. You can do it during lockdown. You can do it during sickness. You can do this when you're breaking bones, when you're facing fire Armageddon, and when you get hit by a car. When your presence practice is really good, you will be able to do that because you've learnt the habit. And this is what correct presence practice is all about. And each step, there are things, processes you take yourself through, hey, in a way that you know you've done them, so then they're evidenced. It's not a matter of thinking, oh, I'm present. No, you actually have to test it. You have to do the steps. Even when you're blazingly enlightened, if you do the steps, it's more visceral, it's more juicy, and your connection with the divine is therefore more juicy. Wow. Wonderful. Right? Pillar 1, correct presence practice. And the introductory course, correct presence practice, covers that. And that is the first section in the Laws of Grace course, which covers everything. The maths, the core multipliers, the supporting laws, all the troubles that you get into, like that cockatoo's getting into with Corella. Oh, what a display! I love it. I love it. This is magical. And look at this. This is a wild bird. I put my thumb and my finger right around his neck. Hey? Yeah. That's a demonstration. I'm the only person in this park that these birds will allow that. So, correct presence practice. How do you know you're being present correctly? Can you write it down? And when you do your presence practice and enter it, are there steps that you know you can get out a piece of paper and tick, I've done this, this and this? Oh, you bossed in. Okay? Evidence-based. So, the first pillar is correct presence practice. Absolutely. So it becomes a habit, and then resets your neurology in your mind and your energy systems and everything, so it becomes a default habit. So what I call proper awakening, abidance in awakening, is in another video here, because that way I can be very specific about it. So you know what we're talking about. Hang on, I've got a bird biting my phone. Hey buddy. They can bite anything but my phone. Come on, Corella. Well, you got something on the side of your face, mate. Can I just take that off? There we go. Correct presence practice. Now, that's the first pillar of the 9, but it is numero uno. Everything else really doesn't matter. And 99.9% of seekers do not do this correctly. This is my observation since I started practicing Eckhart Tolle's stock standard presence practice, which is 3 steps: body, inner body, presence. I add the 4th one, the divine. Because the divine and presence, while kind of similar, one is everything, and I call that one awakened presence, step 4. Hello! Wow, I've never had this many Corellas crawling all over me. Perfect time for the video. Hey sweet! That takes us on to the summary for the 2nd pillar. That is, it includes all of you. You know what that means, eh? It means it includes your ego, your chatty mind, your thinking, your distraction, your fear, your anxieties, all your psychological stuff, and all the ramifications that are happening with this worldwide chaos we're having at the moment because of a virus. Because it's affected everybody. So what's the evidence been regarding your practice? All right. I'll give you a bit of a squash there, my friend. Okay. Notice it didn't make any noise. What does that tell you? That it trusts. Even though it's totally wild, it did not go into fight flight. We're going to talk about this bit shortly. So it includes all you. So when you're not at war with your ego, like everybody seems to be in the Facebook pages for Tolle and Adyashanti and all the spiritual groups, when you're not at war with your ego, or you're thinking, or trying to silence your mind, then you can get on with the business of being present, which includes all of these things. It's just a matter of habit and training. How good would that be? Stop the war. Stop thinking you have to kill your ego, because can you? And if you take a good look at what goes on Facebook pages, ego is the insult that's used when someone disagrees with someone else's opinion. So ego is what someone decides is negative rather than something that is positive. Hello, sweet. Hey, go and take a look, it's true. But your presence allows everything. It allows everything to be as it is. So chatty head, pain body, you know, can you be present while anger is running? You will with practice. This is evidence-based. That's why when you are abiding in awakening, you can hold anger. Doesn't mean you turn into a saint. I know Eckhart kind of tries to sort of make out that that doesn't happen, although in some videos he says he does get angry, but some of the top teachers on this planet have got really serious tempers when they want to scream and yell. Hello! Oh. Right? All of you. Number 3. Pillar 3. Concrete pillar 3. If I can coax this parrot off my head. No! Is rules of evidence. This is evidence in your life, eh? Which of the 4 steps to presence are you entering in any sort of context, any situation, a repeated situation, a habit where you're triggered? A habit where... I just tripped a bird up. All right? So, in any given situation, what of the 4 steps are you consciously entering, and is it happening easily, or are you having to really hold your conscious focus in that place to allow it to mature. And it's not about badges, it's not about achieving, it's not about, you know, oh, I got to step 4 and I'm blessed out with God. No, if you're in a really terrible situation, like, you know, you've fallen down the stairs or you've been hit by a car, just being aware of your hands and your bum while your body goes through its fight-flight instinct response is a gold medal, because that means you'll be able to hold it in less extreme situations. Hey, sweetie, don't bite. All right? Rules of evidence. It's not about what other people say. It's not about what Sri Sri Rama super intelligent guy says. You see that? You kicked him in the face. Right? It's how you do it now. How you did it an hour ago. What was the evidence then? Huh? And what state of presence will you be in? Well, what are the steps will you be in 1 hour's time when this video is long finished? So that's the third concrete pillar. Evidence. Doesn't, you know, I can say all sorts of stuff, so what? Doesn't mean anything. I know where I'm at. What I'm doing with these animals is clearly demonstrating it, given the level of chaos that's going on here. Okay. Concrete pillar number 4. Now this is where it gets ugly and tough. And ugly, by ugly I mean, you know, brutal for you, brutal for your ego, brutal for the people around you if you're sharing about it. Note the timing. Lovely. What I call law 0. Now, what's mathematics of something times 0? What's 1,000 times 0? So if you're not practicing correctly and entering presence correctly in your meditations, then what value is those 1,000 meditations? 0. It's not going to help you when your boss yells at you, or you go into lockdown and you realise you haven't got any toilet paper or something like that, you know. So you can keep your cool and make a response and hold your allowance and your peace and all those cool words while you deal to the situation. Law 0, self-honesty, self-responsibility. Now, this one grows. And it grows in a way that's related to your capacity to be nuanced and your levels of acuity with what's going on inside your neurology, inside your mind, your unconscious mind, your energy systems, and all through your body. We cover this in detail in the actual Laws of Grace, which is the epic size course, because this is pretty much the only way that people that think presence or are in their mind, which is pretty much every Westerner. Hey, don't be nasty. If you bite me again, I'll get rid of you. Okay? Be gentle. I understand. Come back, sweeties. Yep. Come on. It grows with your acuity as you practice, and you get used to the different layers and levels of presence. Come on, sweet. Come on. Come on. Yes. So my self-honesty, self-responsibility is still growing as I learn and become more refined at all the different aspects of presence, of the different layers, the different dimensional areas of consciousness and groundedness, so I can respond in every life situation. Hey, don't bite. Isn't this magic? Look at it. Hey? Got her having a bit of a face. See the foot? He's going to kick him in the face. Oh, this is magic beyond. This is why I love making these videos with the birds. Grace comes out to play. Really does. This is magic. And I got these gorgeous timid corrallers that do let me touch them. And you're seeing it. Special. Special. Come, sweets. Come on. Come up. The laws of grace, we really do cover all that stuff. That's where so many people get lost and so few people truly hit the abiding phase of awakening enlightenment that I have defined here as level 3, abidance, i.e. living there in presence where your neurology is flipped over. And then it deepens and stabilizes. So enlightenment level 1 is just the beginning. That's just you and God. Stable in life, in the supermarket, in the dentist chair. When your boss is bullying you, you got your kids screaming at you. You know, you can have all that while you're screaming back, of course, when you're good at it. When you're nuanced at it, and your self-honesty and self-responsibility is there, so you're activating the habit. You will evidence this. You better put it in your presence diary, your success journal. I've got a bird trying to ruin my folder. So law 0 is the toughie. This is the one that will scare most people away, as will the rules of evidence. So when you have the claimers around you, ask them for evidence in their life and how present they were, and ask them to describe how they were present when something nasty happened. See, that bird didn't freak out when I rubbed his back. My presence override his survival instinct, because these are very timid parrots, these corellas. Although they handle cuddles a bit better. Law 0, that's tough. That sorts out the people that will awaken versus those that like spiritual ideas and don't go anywhere. Are you doing all right? Eh? Law 0. The 5th main one is your unconscious mind. So there's another reason I'm here with these birds, because notice how I talk to them and deal with them and play with them, and a lot of my language and how I name them. You know, it's like I'm a recycled 5-year-old 10 times. Because I am. He just climbed over that other bird. How funny. I've never seen them do that before. More grace. Magic. Your unconscious mind is the majority of you, and that's where you store your memories, your pain, your reactions, and it's where your neurology is operated from. Your endocrine system, your health system, everything. So it's critical. Sorry, Dales. Way! State change! It's those birds that freaks them out every time. Notice the space and the peace in comparison to the chaos. Can you bring yourself back to peace instantly when something goes on and chaos happens? Unbelievable. So that's the first 5. They're the biggies. And when you pull them together, it makes a cohesive way for you to measure your practice, to do your practice, to know that you don't need to be at war with yourself, and that it's up to you. 100% up to you how you place your volitional attention. 2 special words, volitional attention, your conscious mind. Where are you placing your attention? My darlings are coming back. Again, with timing and everything. Pillar 6 is just other factors, the external factors, like your company. So one bird, I got one little corella down there, and there's such a timid bird, he probably won't come up here by himself. This one's got the courage and come across, and I can tell by how his feet feel, I know this is a bird that comes on me frequently. Hey, sweet. And we're about to have mayhem shortly again. So these other laws, the sixth pillar is support your community and a variety of other things that assist the development of your presence. Go across, buddy. There you go. So there's a variety of things that fit into pillar 6, and inquiry is part of that. But that kind of leads us on to number 7, which is there is always more. Your awakening process, and that's stabilizing at the different levels, the different energetic bandwidths, deepens and it doesn't stop. So standard enlightenment, as I define here, abidance, default conscious, unconscious, living in the relentless practice state of presence, which becomes dead easy, and then it takes a while for it to settle. It's a big thing for that to happen, eh? Which is why so few people manage it. With this framework though, you will manage it, and if you haven't done it in 5 years, then you need some serious personal feedback, because it's all based with the habit, i.e. unconscious mind. Yeah. Get off my head, mate. Off, off. Good bird. Hello? You keen? Come on. It's the same bird. There's always more. So, ow. After the first cycle of awakening, that stabilises and deepens and matures is Adyashanti's word for that. And then you may go into the transpersonal cycle of awakening. And that's exactly what it means. It's not just you and God, and then it's you, God, and other things. You merge with them, like I'm doing with these birds. Hey, sweet. And people, and you know, those master guys up there, guys and gals, archangels and all those sorts of people if you're into the spiritual stuff. You don't need the spiritual stuff to awaken, eh? It's just straight out neurology, unconscious mind, rules of evidence. Oh, I got a bird caught in my cord. Oh, see, they made me bleed. Come on, come across. Oh. Come on, come across. Come across. You can do it. You can do it. Dive into the infinite nothingness, my sweet little friend. Come across. Come across. You did it. Oh, magic. So pillar 7 is there's always more. So after awakening, then if you really keep going and grace decides to bless you, you may enter the transpersonal phase, and virtually nobody talks about this. Adyashanti lives there. A few other teachers do. Sadhguru Jagi Vasudev, the Amas, Amma the Hugging Saint, Sri Shakti Amanarani, and a whole bunch of others, but you know, I'm only talking about the ones I've met. That is huge. That takes huge adjustment. People end up on the loony bin because they have those experiences and they can't integrate it because they haven't dealt to the first 5 pillars here, especially the unconscious mind one, because your ego can't handle it. You guys can have a fight. Right. Transpersonal. So there's a page there called the Advanced Awakening page where I talk about that. Really interesting. It's hard to explain, and it's something you truly have to experience, just like abidance of awakening is. It's very different to what people think. You can't actually mentally project it or think what it's like, because it's not to do with your mind. Your mind is just a tiny percentage of it. So there's always more. There's the 7th pillar. And there's layers beyond what I can talk about. I'm just sticking to what I know, and I have evidenced under the rules of evidence. Okay, I got the just aggressive, right? Hey, hey. Pillar 7. Yeah, there's always more. Number 8. Now this one's super gnarly. This is the ugly one. This is the one where people really do freak out and run away, especially if they're in coaching, because when you have this one happen, you really don't want to look at it, and that's why it's called a blind spot. It tends to be stuff that's hardwired and takes quite a while. So if you've got the courage and you really want to awaken, then you will examine blind spots. And if you want to know what yours are, make contact, because it's more of a one-on-one thing. I can feel it with your bandwidth because I do the transpersonal with you, and I can feel it and give you feedback on how to correct your practice or help you address the dramas and the traumas and all that other stuff that's in the way. I was going to say nonsense. It's not nonsense. It's just stuff you got to be with 100% in presence until it's done. Like, I'm working with another absolute full-on one at the moment, and my head still can't get it. You know, I'm allowing myself to feel the emotions around it and watch the thinking processes around it. Magic. And chaos. And I'm just noticing and unpicking little bits of it at a time. Pillar 6, you know, the other supporting things you've got to do, which is why I've got a mentor and I have a session with her every 3 weeks. Oh, you're bossy. So blind spots are need to be well and truly mastered in presence, fully experiencing them. Hey, sweetie. Hey. Pain. And you can hold presence with pain. You can have your bones broken and still hold presence. Because I'm talking from experience, evidence. You're biting me. Yeah, so don't. It didn't fly away, it's just sitting there. Evidence. Blind spots, yeah, they're crackers. And they'll hold you back. Watch this. This will be fun. Who's going to win? Eh? The term pecking order really is real, and this is what's happening here. Wow, what a scrap. So blind spots. You need someone that can feel your bandwidth and understand your consciousness and to give you that feedback. If you've got a really good coach or counsellor or psychotherapist type person, they may be able to help you with that. I certainly can. It's what I do. That's my soul gift. Once you get those ones sussed, then you're well and truly on your way to proper enlightenment. Step 3, abidance in presence, which means the juicy step 4, the God stuff, will start opening up and stabilise as your neurology can handle it. All this stuff takes time, eh? Time does exist. Time exists so you can experience the no time, all this yummy stuff that people want. And as you stabilise in it, it just becomes normal. Hey, stop destroying my pen, mate. Oh, they're destructive, eh? Yeah. Number 9, pillar 9, is common sense. This stuff applies in all fields in the fields of science. It affects your biology, it affects your DNA, it affects your spiritual bodies. It's mathematical. A habit is mathematical, eh? The correct habit brings you to the place where neurology opens up, your mind clears itself through your psychological mechanisms. Oh, you're a darling. Oh. You're naughty. Come on, sweet. Hello. It's related to sacred geometry, all that spiritual stuff. It's all true, especially when you go into the transpersonal, because all that esoteric stuff needs to happen for your higher soul essences to activate, so you can consciously work with them as a normal human being that has an ego and emotions and dealing with life stuff, as we all have had to deal with since this pandemic thing broke out. Everybody's Everybody's had to deal with it. Notice the timing when he fell through to the ground. Hello, you're a biter. And it's so common sense and so science-based. I teach students how to study, how to learn, how to work with their emotional state so they can function in the classroom and their exams, how to cope with, you know, student life. A student success tutor. It's no different to coaching the spiritual stuff, just without the spiritual language. Hello, I'll give you some there if you get off me, because I want to look after my corellas. See, talk nicely to the bird, it followed my instructions. And this is how what I'm demonstrating here shows it's integrated. Madness. Hey, look at this. This is a wild bird. The foot says stop doing that. Isn't it, eh? Can you let me rub under your arm? Common sense. It integrates into everything. There's no excluding. So you can look at this from a mathematical viewpoint of the amount of times you enter presence correctly will give you a mathematical outcome about how quickly you will come home, assuming you deal to your blind spots, assuming you're doing your presence practice correctly and you're not bending it in your mind, which a lot of people do. Oh, people tell me that there are all sorts of wonderful states of enlightenment and there's no evidence, there's no energetic bandwidth that goes with it, because there's no law zero going on. They're not self-honest, they're not being responsible, and they simply don't demonstrate it in life. And this is the great thing about this framework. This year, you know, I've been recording this course, The Laws of Grace, now for a full 12 months. And because I've had to do it and explain it to people and bring clarity to it, what it's done for me is it's taken me a lot deeper. Now, I don't need to use all my spiritual stuff, my spiritual abilities, to understand the situation now. I just run off the 4 steps to presence. How's that person doing with that? Which includes all of them, you know, their personality stuff, their own shortcomings and that sort of stuff. You know, we all have shortcomings. I've got shortcomings. Ask anybody that knows me, they'll give you a long list of my shortcomings. You guys having a fight. More fights. Total chaos. And presence is here with these beautiful animals. Come up, honey. And the rules of evidence just spells it out. What's not real is obvious. And then when you communicate that to the people, do they step up and be self-honest and take responsibility? This is where you need to check it out for yourself, eh? So this framework's quite unbreakable. If you think it can be broken, let me know. Based on your experience. Concrete evidence. Oh, hello. That's the summary. So now there'll be videos where I go into some of this, and there are other supporting videos. Now this course is free because it's important we all come home. If you want to learn the correct presence practice correctly, that's the course, the introductory course. And the Laws of Grace is epic, it covers all the stuff. One-on-one coaching is available. And there's the Mastery Club for a group of people that are serious, where we do monthly research projects, workshops, and we're at the cutting edge. This framework's cutting edge, eh? Brings super clarity to Eckhart Tolle's stuff. There's no confusion. It takes away the confusion. You know where you got to go. This is the Google Maps of awakening. Because if you can't be precise about it, then you really just don't know your subject very well, eh? Roger Federer knows how to serve tennis balls, eh? I love talking about Roger. Or Tiger Woods, although he's now damaged his legs, eh, the poor guy. He transformed golf. the old tiger. So it applies to all fields, which is why I can also work with students to help them get their life on track and their studies on track and their brain working so they can have grade jumps and get their study done. Make contact. My number's at the bottom of every page here in the website. Follow this thing through. There'll be buttons there for you to follow through on the course and take a look at what you're doing. 5 years of correct presence practice. I mean, I would be gobsmacked if you're not somewhere near permanent abidance. If you're doing the maths, and the maths is in the laws of grace. Okay, let's be clear about that. That's cutting edge stuff. Super cutting edge. I did it in 5, and 3 of it I was just doing it in my head. I was missing the first step of the correct presence practice. I wasn't incarnate. But I had feedback from a quality person, a teachered person, who had the ability to look and drummed it into me, and I had the guts to look. Law 0, pillar number 4. Does this make sense? The introductory course is there in the website as well. The first, one of the first videos I did a year ago, but it's good for you to check out. And then you can do a state change like that and come home. Oh my God, I'm here. Send some feedback. Watch some videos. Check out the Correct Presence Practice course, Laws of Grace, coaching, or the Mastery Club. State change. You stayed. Oh, a couple stayed. Mastering your state changes is really important. See how he jumped? They've come back. Come on, sweeties. So with these individual 9-pillar videos and a few other things, they're just going to be on the website only. So follow the cues on the menu or at the bottom of the page. I'm not doing email lists and all that sort of funnel marketing rubbish where I hook you in. This is about you using this framework and following through on learning the habit, because it's the only way it works if you genuinely want it. If you don't genuinely want it, then that's fine. What do you want? What are you going to do about it? That's what it's all about, eh? Look at this gorgeous little animal. So see you in the next video here at AwakenedEssence.com. Test it, try it out. If you can bust it, please let me know. Under the rules of evidence, because you're living it. Doesn't matter what other people say, doesn't matter what I say. How does this work for you? This is what counts. Evidence-based. Pillar 3. With your self-honesty and responsibility to apply it. Pillar 4. So you learn the habit. Unconsciously, pillar 5, so you don't make those sorts of horrible noises. That's a baby. That's a baby one of these. And so on we go. So see you in the next video. Oh, sweeties. Can I give you some more? Oh, you're sweet. They're all so eager. Hey, don't bite me. You're a bossy boots, aren't you? Hey?